judging you with scorecards. Oh, you're too thin, or you're not thin enough, or you're not this or that. Say nonsense. You should see the real you in there. You should de-stress yourself. You should have a better self-image and realize that in the end, what makes you a special person is the uniqueness of your spirit, your mind, and your soul. Breaking the cycle of food addiction is crucial. And you do that by starting to reintroduce food in larger amounts. From a woman's perspective, she has to understand a guy sits down to a meal and he's going to eat until he's full. A woman never eats till she's full. A woman eats based upon what she feels her body can handle without looking overweight. And she counts calories. Men never count calories. You never see a guy count calories. He just sits down. He'll eat the plate. He'll eat the table. He'll eat anything that's moving. Women are very specific. Well, I can't eat that because it's got fat in it. I can't eat that because wrong. Start to eat a good vegetarian diet. You know what's going to happen? You're going to be able to eat more than what you would normally eat. I never count calories, and yet I stay fit, and all the women I counsel stay fit and lose weight if they need to, but they gain weight if they need to because they're eating what the body requires. Complex carbohydrate, good vegetarian diet, and make sure you get zinc in liquid form. Oh, there's so many misconceptions about women, and this is one that is right at the top of the list. PMS. Do you know that in the 1800s you could be put into a mental institution for suffering from PMS? Do you know that millions and millions of American women in the 1960s and 70s went to their physician talking about problems of PMS, and the doctors do a cursory exam and say there's nothing wrong with you and give them Valium? Over 100 million toxic, unnecessary tranquilizers were given. So in contempt were men of women's attitude and body that they weren't willing to recognize that women were having a condition. So here's what it comes down to. You know that PMS is real, even if your doctor will not acknowledge it. But when was the last time your doctor acknowledged anything that was real in you? They're not going to, so don't wait around from them. Take control, change your diet, and watch PMS no longer be an issue in your life. Menopause marks the end of the female reproductive cycle, which typically occurs between the ages of 45 and 50, but can happen anywhere from 40 to 60, or even earlier as a result of surgery or illness. Menopause is said to begin when a woman goes through one complete year without a period. The stage before menopause, called perimenopause, may last as long as 10 years. Many women harbor misconceptions about the nature and the effects of menopause. In cultures where menopause is less feared, symptoms are virtually non-existent, like in Japan and in China. We've been led to believe that as you age and when you hit menopause, your ovaries simply dry up. They cease having any use, no longer secreting the hormones that once kept you young and vital, so you can take them out, all right? Wrong. And I want to explain how that works. When you're in perimenopause, the ovaries go through a last hurrah. The body is making very high levels of estrogen, trying to kickstart the ovaries so they can keep going. There's subtle winding down. All right, it's not all at once. There will be some fluctuations, and sometimes they can be erratic, and that can cause hot flashes. At menopause, your body shifts just enough so you no longer are able to produce eggs, but you're also still producing adequate levels of estrogen to maintain the functions of your body. At menopause, the outer part of the ovaries, which has been more responsible for producing eggs, begins to shrink because eggs are no longer being created. But the inner part, called the inner stroma, actually gets switched on for the first time. It produces hormones that look after your heart, your blood vessels, your skin, your libido, protecting the woman's body and her well-being. Now, we've got a lot of misconceptions and myths. Let me just dispel some myths about menopause, all right? Menopause causes sex drive loss. Wrong. Society expects menopause women to lose their sex drive. But this does not have to happen. Many women fear that they are going to lose their passion and their sexuality. Many report feeling more sexual because the risk of pregnancy is gone. There's another myth, that menopause creates psychological problems. Oh yes, women see menopause as the beginning of the end. They believe that life is going to be downhill from this point on. They no longer think of themselves as youthful, as able to contribute to society. They fear that their behavior will become erratic, hysterical, and out of control. Why? Because that's what men have told them. This is not true. There's another myth. Menopause is a disease. Menopause is not a disease. The medical community has created this belief by stressing the need for hormone replacement therapy. In reality, menopause is not a disease, but a natural transition that should be dealt with naturally. Now, the food that is the highest content of estrogen is soy. Soybeans, tofu, tempeh, soy milk, anything made with soy will contain plant estrogens. Oats, cashews, almonds, alfalfa, apples, flaxseed contain smaller amounts of estrogen. A woman emphasizing those foods in the diet can experience significant decreases in her hot flashes. Studies suggest that too little magnesium in the diet causes hot flashes. Magnesium can be found in whole grains, beans, nuts, seeds, and soy products. Now we come back. Sugar, you've heard me say it, can cause hot flashes and other menstrual symptoms that should be avoided completely. Sugar, coffee, alcohol adversely affect the blood sugar and can disturb the emotions. In addition, a number of fruits and vegetables are particularly high in phytochemicals, plant chemicals, and phytohormones. These include apples, grapefruits, lemons, pears, peaches, and a wide variety of vegetables that are high in fiber and loaded with phytochemicals. I found that a diet with the right amount of proteins, fats, and low glycemic carbohydrates not only helps regulate sex hormone production, but it also helps to balance the hormone response to food, which I think is critical to keeping blood sugar levels stable. And a level blood sugar helps prevent perimenopausal symptoms like depression, mood swings, hot flashes, and that it encourages weight loss without any effort. And vitamin E. This vitamin is known for its ability to rejuvenate the reproductive system and alleviate hot flashes. And finally, progesterone oxygenates the cells. Now, pregnenolone helps the body create female hormones. And DHEA, natural DHEA found in wild yam extract preparations, rejuvenates the body. And progesterone cream or serum, progesterone is a woman's rejuvenating hormone, which protects against cancer and fibrocystic breast and increases the beneficial effects of thyroid hormone. In addition, it guards against osteoporosis by putting calcium back into the bones. After menopause, progesterone can be taken 3 or 4 weeks out of a month, and wild yam creams contain progesterone and can be purchased over the counter. And oral natural progesterone can also be taken. Now, estriol, E-S-T-R-I-O-L, is a natural, friendly estrogen that has been shown to inhibit breast tumors in animals. And some gynecologists are beginning, thank goodness, to recommend estriol for menopausal women as being safer and more effective than synthetics. And triple estrogen, this is a formula, it's about 80% estriol, and the remaining 20% is made from estrione and estradiol. And estriol provides protection from breast cancer. Together, estrione and estradiol help protect against osteoporosis, cardiovascular problems, and more. And there are no negative side effects. Then exercise. Regular exercise can reduce the frequency and severity of hot flashes. And this is because it decreases follicle-stimulating hormone. And for best results, it's a good idea to begin exercising before menopause begins. Otherwise, exercise may trigger hot flashes. Exercise also alleviates mood swings and depression by raising naturally serotonin and endorphin levels in the brain. The best exercise to engage in is dancing or brisk walking or running, swimming, biking, tai chi. They all work. Millions of American women believe that they are going to suffer from osteoporosis, a thinning of the bones. And as a result, most of them are going to end up taking some form of estrogen replacement therapy. Now, is that the best therapy? Not in my opinion. In fact, I'm really opposed to that. Let me tell you why. Because common sense, the 5 leading nations in the world that consume the most dairy, including the United States, and Germany, and England, for example, and France, we also have the most osteoporosis. And yet, the 5 nations that consume almost no dairy have almost no osteoporosis. Well, if we're told we need more calcium, and dairy is a good source of calcium, and to prevent osteoporosis, take dairy, then we shouldn't have any osteoporosis. But we do have it, so it's not dairy that's preventing it. And partly it's because A, dairy is highly allergenic in many people, and B, because it's deficient in magnesium. And it's magnesium that we needed, and boron. And